Hi, it's Anna here. In this video tutorial, I want to show you how to make this little zero cut fun fold mini bag. And this was requested by my Stampin' friend Becky, so shout out to her. So let me show you how to make this just from a little bit of designer series paper, some ribbon, and a little bit of stamping on a label. I'll put this over here so you can still see it. All right, so all we need is a piece of designer series paper. This is cut to 6 by 6 inches. So technically there is a little bit of cutting involved, or if you use your stash of 6 by 6 designer's paper, there really is no cutting. So we're going to place this in our paper trimmer. You can use your scoring tool, Simply Scored tool by Stampin' Up, whatever works best for you. I will list all the measurements in the video description, as well as the supply list link to my Stampin' Up store if you want to purchase any of the items I'm using in this tutorial, except for the stamp set, because that is from the September paper pumpkin kit, but I'll tell you more about that in a few minutes. All right, so let's go ahead. Now, it's important, if your paper has a certain direction, you want it to be on the box. Like if I were to do this side of the designer series paper, by the way, this is the Sweetest Days of Autumn designer series paper that just came out. So if I were to use this side, it really doesn't matter which way I start, because the direction, there is no direction on this paper, okay? So, but I want this one to go like this. So this is where I'm going to start scoring, okay? So I will place this in my paper trimmer, and we're going to score it at first at 1.5, okay? And then at 4.5. All right, let's see here. Oops. Okay, now we're going to turn it either way. You can turn it against the clock, with the clock. I like to go 90 degrees, turning it with the clock. So we will place that back in our trimmer at 2.5. All right. And then we'll move it further to 3.5 and score again. All right, and that's all there is to it. So the reason I'm going back and forth is I'm using a lighter touch because this is designer series paper. It's printed paper, not dyed cardstock. So if I score too hard, then the printed fibers are actually going to break, and it's going to show that white core, and I don't want that. So that's all we need with a paper trimmer. Now we're going to find our score lines. So we have our 1.5. So I'm not even going to use a bone folder. 1.5, and then our 4.5. Or technically it's 1.5 on each side. Okay, and then we're going to score, well, not score, but fold our 2.5 and 3.5 score lines. All right, so that's all there is to it. So now here's the fun part. We're going to start, so your cardstock is in the direction, so your 1.5 inch folds on each side are going to meet here, okay? I'm sorry about my voice. I've been kind of struggling with a sore throat the past few days, so I hope I'm not starting a coughing fit or anything like that. I'll try and make it through the video without. So anyways, this is how we're going to start. Now, you're going to pinch your finger. So you see here you have a little corner from our score line, right? So I'm going to find that here on the outside, and I'm going to kind of push my finger on there, and I'm going to fold this outwards. So I'm bringing the score line, lining them up, and then I'll just run my finger over here, okay? So here, if you want to, you can use a bone folder. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Yes, I'll admit it helps a little bit for this kind of bag to be, what is it called, ambidextrous? And I am. I do some things with my left hand and other things with my right hand. So yes, that helps a little bit. So, but take your time. After, if you've never done this bag before, or this fun fold box, then yes, it's going to take you a minute to kind of, you know, fully grasp the concept, but after that, if you as soon as you understand or like done it a few times, then there's no problem there. So you see how it's come together. Now we're going to flip it over, and we're basically going to do the same thing. We're going to find our score line here for the middle, and we're going to line this up here. All right, and then again, just running my finger over the diagonal fold there, as you can see. Okay, I'm just running it back and forth, opening that up, and then I'm going to pinch my finger or pinch the score line there, and then just run it there. All right, so this is what you have right now. Now we're going to put a little bit of adhesive in all four corners. Okay, and when I say corners, so you can see here that it's well, basically, well, it's not a rectangle. What do you call it now? Trapezoid, I guess. But 1, 2, 3, 4. It still has 4 corners. So we're going to put a little bit of adhesive here and a little bit of adhesive here. We're going to do that on all 4 corners. So let me show you. So this way and this way. You're not going to need a whole lot of adhesive, but I would definitely use either tear and tape or one of our tape rollers, because if you want, I mean, technically, yes, you could use liquid glue, and you know, I'm a big fan of liquid glue, but for this kind of project, it kind of makes it easier if you use an adhesive that doesn't wiggle around too much or doesn't take you know, an extra second to dry. So now we're going to, we have, as you can see, we have the adhesive in all 4 corners. Let me see if let's actually make use of that reflection. That's always annoying when you use other things in card making tutorials. So we're going to put that down like this, bring these sides together. All right, and now you see this is our bag coming together. So the cool thing is you can make a bunch of these, and you can actually store them like this, like all flat, okay? And then whenever you need them, you can put your little label in there, and you can just have your ribbon wrapped around and ready to go, or have them in the bag extra, and then when you actually need them, you just put them together. All right, so there we go. And that is really all that is to it. Now I have some candy here. I have some Storfriesen chocolate caramel, I guess it is. And they fit in there nicely, 2 of them. And now I'm going to use 2 clips here. That just makes it easier to bring my bag together when I want to tie my ribbon around it. All right, so I'm just lining that up. You could also, if you wanted to, you can put glue dots there or glue this together. And now if you want to, you can pinch in the sides a little bit. Okay, so I want to make sure that's all in focus. Oh, I hope it was in focus. All right, so now we're going to need some ribbon. I have some very vanilla and pecan pie ribbon here that I'm going to wrap around my box. And I can never remember which way to tie my bow to have a really nice bow, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. All right, but I'm going to bring in my tweezers. That always helps, since, you know, we only have 2 hands. So if you have your kid or your grandkid or your husband or partner there to hold down that knot for you, you don't need the tweezers. So you see, it's always twisting on me. I don't know. So let's see if I can get a nicer bow on this. I don't know. Yeah. Let's see here. Maybe I can push it a little bit in the right direction. All right, I'm holding the knot down to adjust my bow. All right, let's see. That looks good. All right, we can take those clips off. We can trim that ribbon a little bit on either side. Oops, let's see, what's a good length? There. All right, so there's a little back here. And now we're going to do our little label. So I have some basic white here. Let me bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. That always helps with the camera. So I have a label here that is die cut from the Autumn Leaves dies in basic white. Then I'm going to bring in some crumb cake for the body of my little snail here. And like I said, the stamp set is from the September Paper Pumpkin Kit, Autumn Abundance. So if you actually got this one, you can definitely make use of this stamp set. I always love that you get a full stamp set with every paper pumpkin. And we actually have a promotion going on all of October 2024 that if you've never had a paper pumpkin subscription, if you subscribe anytime during October, you get 40% off on your first kit. Now, that means you get basically a $10 discount. Usually the month-to-month subscription is $25. But with a 40% discount, you get $10 off, which brings it down to $15 per kit. And that includes shipping, and that includes the kit itself. You get a stamp set, you get a little ink spot, and really cool instructions, like fully printed with all the step-by-step instructions that you need to make your project. And if you want the October kit, then you will need to subscribe by October 10th. The 10th of the month is always our cutoff date for that month's kit. That's the deadline, okay? And the October kit is going to coordinate with this beautiful Nests of Winter suite that we have in our September-December 2024 mini catalog. And so it's going to have some of these birds. The projects are always a surprise. We get a little bit of a sneak peek, but not a whole lot. We kind of get the theme if it's boxes or cards, but we never see the full projects. Stampin' Up! Did that, I think, 1 or 2 months ago for the very first time that they actually showed one of the full cards as a sneak peek. But yeah, it's a surprise every single month, and I just love it because it's very quick and easy. Especially if you're traveling, if you're on the go, if you want to craft with kids. The paper pumpkin is always a great project kit. So yeah, you find it, the coordinating Nests of Winter suite, you find that on pages 30 and 31, like I said, in the holiday catalog. And you have to use holiday 40, that's the code, to get the 40% discount. But I'll have all the details on that in the description as well. So anyways, let's go back to our little snail here before that video is just turning too long. So I'm going to ink it up in crumb cake. And I'm going to stamp it on, let's see here, a little bit to the side. Okay, so there we go. Not going to need that anymore, so we can put that aside. And then I'm going to take some Cajun Craze. That is the color here of my designer series paper. Besides, by the way, I created some really cute cards with this designer series paper. I'll link it up here for you, so if you want to check those out as well. And now I'm going to stamp the shell for my little snail over here in Cajun Craze. Since it's photopolymer, it's really easy to line up. And then I'm bringing in one of the sentiments. This one says, with thanks, but I only have room for the thanks. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just ink up, and this is so easy to do with our photopolymer stamps, just going to ink up the thanks over here. That's why I love the straight edges on our ink pads. That's so useful if you just want to ink up one certain part of your stamp. All right, and let's see. I have a lot of reflection going on here today. So, but let's just go ahead. All right, there we go. And that is our little label there. Let me close this up. I just know I get my fingers in there somehow. And then we're going to bring in some dimensionals. And these are the ones that I actually got from that September kit, that paper pumpkin kit. So you always have adhesives that you need included as well. So we're going to put one of those mini dimensionals, one in each corner. I'm going to take the backing off, put that aside. Oh, I don't know if I got, yeah, okay, it looks like I got them all. And then I'm just going to place it over my ribbon here, kind of in the middle. And there we go. Isn't this cute? I love these. I'm already like working on a bunch of these for the preschool class of our little one. So because her birthday's coming up, so these are going to be little treats that I'm going to be sending with her on that day. So yeah, and there you go. Becky, I hope this video tutorial helped you to kind of figure out how I did the larger version of this bag. By the way, if you want to see the larger version that I did for my mystery grab bags for selling my handmade cards, then leave me a comment. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked this video tutorial. If you want to see more quick and easy card ideas, especially if you're a busy crafter like me, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you get notified of new tutorials. In the meantime, you can check out my latest card idea right here. And I'll see you in the next video.